Before we start, this is quite an interesting one. So I have actually blocked you on Instagram.
I know. I'm like, why? What did I do? So my name's Sarah Packer and I am the chief showbiz reporter at Mail Online.
What's the most shocking thing that's ever come in and you're like, Jesus?
People like when people break up. There's a new relationship story.
Maura Higgins.
That is classic tabloid story. Like we would call it tabloid fodder.
Who's the worst celebrity you've ever interviewed and you thought, my God, you're a twat?
Everyone asks me that. I don't like
Oh, actually, yeah, he's got quite a reputation, doesn't he?
celebrities lie a lot.
Do they?
Of course.
And has anyone ever lied to your face and you go, well, that's not true?
Yeah, of course.
Blake Lively and Just Abadoni. Whose side are you on?
Ooh, that's hard because I'm a Gossip Girl fan. It always feels unnatural to side with the man. In the press, it's like she said this and then he said that and then she fights back with this and his team says this and I'm like, okay.
Did you ever write anything on Caroline Flack?
I'll say nice try, Sarah. Not today, love.
Welcome back to another episode of Private Parts with me, Liv Bentley. This is the podcast where nothing is off limits. Today we're celebrating International Women's Month and we have the Daily Mail showbiz chief joining me on the sofa to take a look behind the scenes of her role. Please welcome Sarah Packer. Before we start, this is quite an interesting one. So I have actually blocked you on Instagram.
I know. I'm like, why? What did I do?
I was trying to work out what it must have been. I think it was years ago. There must have been something written. No, you know what it was? Made in Chelsea set up interviews to promote the new season.
Right.
And whenever we've done them, I obviously am so overly chatty and I've probably said something and then you must have written something and I've gone, for fuck's sake, and then blocked because I did it to a load of journalists.
No, I know.
So
that was the only thing that made me feel better.
Really?
Like, because we chatted amongst ourselves. It was like, no, I'm blocked too. And I was like, oh, fine, maybe it's not personal.
I'll definitely unblock you. No,
Thank you.
I went through a weird phase, I think, where I suddenly thought everyone was out to get me and then posting things like whether it was like boyfriends or whatever. Anyway, water under the bridge.
Yeah, all in the past.
All in the past. How did you get into journalism? Like what made you suddenly, was it always something you wanted to do?
Yes, like right from a really, really young age. I used to like scrapbook newspaper articles.
Really?
Yeah, and like I've still got all of those things now and I loved magazines. You remember like Ms. Magazine?
Yeah.
I don't know if you do, but I used to collect all magazines. Still now I keep all the Vogues, like everything
Really?
like that. So yeah, it was from a young age. I think like even TV shows like Sex and the City, they really glamorized it and I just thought that looked like the coolest job.
Actually, that's so true. Yeah, she did make it really. Was it always showbiz that you wanted to do?
Yes, because I'm not going to lie, I was always a gossip in school.
Really?
Loved goss.
I definitely was as well.
Yeah, and then as soon as I was old enough, I remember watching Big Brother and I loved shows like that and I love reality television. And I like the soaps, like EastEnders I used to watch from a young age. And so, yeah, I think I was just like tapping into celebrities from a young age.
It is sort of interesting, isn't it? I'm trying to work out if I would have been a good journalist. No, I'd have been useless.
No, I think so because you're in there and you've got like a big friendship group, you're chatty and it's all about who you know at the end of the day.
Yeah. Do you think, have you got friends that are celebrities that you've ever written about?
Yes, but not people that I didn't know before this. Like I've only got to know them through the job and they're now, I hope, friends.
Yeah. Do you think they're ever skeptical of you?
No, because you've got to get to a place, like by the time you're friends, you know that the trust is there. Like I would never do anything to betray someone. If they come to me and they're talking naturally and normally, you know when someone's giving you...
Because I think that's probably why I got my back up with journalists because it was always, not that it was being tripped up, but I think there were so many times I'd said one thing, then it came out, it was a totally different thing. And I was like, hang on, where has this come from?
Right.
So then I'd always be on edge because we used to do those press days.
Yes.
Do you remember? And then I think I used to get bored that I'd start making stuff up. And Made in Chelsea were like, you can't say that.
Oh no. I mean, that has happened to me with Made in Chelsea. And the one that sticks out is actually with Towie because we were talking about someone that came onto someone in a club.
Yeah.
And I reported on it and it was said officially at the press day, on record, recorded. And then there was a big uproar. Yeah.
Really?
And I'm like, okay, but it's the press day. It's like what we go to get, you know. But that's the thing. And I noticed it the most in lockdown, that people weren't going out and they weren't seeing each other. So they were more chatty with journalists during interviews and then maybe were saying too much and then we were getting it when it was published.
Do you get like the same sort of people that sell stories, not on, but sort of on themselves? Like, is that a thing? Like, do you get like the Towie lot sending things being like, oh, can you pat me here and write this article? Does it work like that?
Not so much nowadays, I would say. I mean, your sources come from so many different places. Often they're anonymous and you don't know who they are, and it's your job to really verify the facts and make sure what they're saying is credible.
How does it work? Like, do you have to have like specific evidence to then write a piece?
Sometimes.
Or can you just, like, is it like word of mouth? Like if you say, oh, I've heard this person's bonking this person, and you write about it, even if no one knows?
That would be tricky. Obviously, there are tons of rules that we have to follow.
Okay.
It's not as easy as anyone probably thinks when you read a story. You know, you have to go through lots of processes. Evidence is obviously the best and key. You know, if there's a picture or a video or something that verifies what the person's saying. But even then, if it's taken in a private place, sometimes we can't use it.
Oh, really?
Yes. So...
Because I did always wonder that. I was like, how... Because, you know, sometimes when it's like a reliable source, I was like, who is this source?
Yes, there's always the source.
Yeah.
But yeah, so many people ask me that, how do you get your stories? And there's just so many different ways, especially when, you know, you've been in the industry for as many years. I've done it for quite a long time now.
Yeah, because you were at The Sun originally, weren't you?
Yeah, that's true. And so, yeah, you end up, it's probably a small pool, you know, the people that you talk a lot to, that you trust, and you know if they come to you if something is reliable.
Yeah. How often do you ever see people selling stories and it's on someone they're friends with?
Oh, that doesn't happen.
It doesn't. So you wouldn't get like a Made in Chelsea person selling an article on someone else?
No, I don't think so.
Really?
No.
I always thought that. I was always
No.
convinced that people were selling stories on each other.
No, I think that's probably paranoia.
Really?
Yeah,
Well, no,
that doesn't happen. Because imagine you're all in the same boat, you're in the same situation. I've not known that to happen.
Really? Okay, because
Yeah.
I'm a big believer on karma. I remember years ago, because I got accused of it once. We were filming in Ibiza and I was dating a guy on another TV show. Anyway, stuff had gone on with the Made in Chelsea cast and I had told this guy about it and he fucking sold it. And then I got blamed. And I remember at the time thinking there was no way he would do this kind of thing. And then the cast, all the girls were like, you sold this story. And I thought, I'm never going to sell. Like, I wouldn't actually know where to begin to sell a story.
Right.
So I remember thinking how mad it was. But yeah, no, he had done it. It was cheeky.
No,
fuck.
I've not. People have reached out and asked, oh, you know, who was it? You can never say
Yeah,
who your
'cause you
source
can't,
is.
can you?
Yeah, because that's like the first rule. You have to keep your source confidential.
Yeah.
And so, no, I've never known that. That would be so cruel.
No, because I've always wondered that. How
Yeah.
dark people can go.
No, that's not been my experience for sure.
Has anyone ever sent a story that has like really shocked you, that you've been like, this is actually quite...
All the time.
Really?
I mean,
What's the most shocking thing that's ever come in and you're like, Jesus?
well, the most shocking stuff is the stuff that you can't publish.
Oh yeah,
Like-
can you say?
I would say that I work online, so I build my articles and sometimes they just remain in the draft stage.
Really?
So they don't see the light of day. But yeah, I guess for me, the best story and what I find to be most read on Mail Online is the simple stuff. It's a split story.
Yeah,
People like when people break up.
yeah.
It's when there's a new relationship story.
Maura Higgins, sorry, just throw that one out there.
Yes. I mean, that is, you know, a classic tabloid story. Like we
Yeah.
would call it tabloid fodder.
Oh my God, but it's in the Daily Mail every day. I
Yes.
hate to admit this. I read the Daily Mail, the showbiz, straight to the showbiz. Fuck the
Oh,
news.
don't hate to
I'm
admit it,
straight,
babe. Like-
I'm straight on the showbiz section.
Keep us in business.
I actually got to the point where I set up Google alerts in case my name got mentioned. I think it must have been paranoid or something. But I remember there was a time, actually, this is what it was. This is years, it was like my early days of Made in Chelsea. There was an article written by the Daily Mail basically calling me out for being a liar, saying I was the heiress to Bentley. And it came out and I kept thinking that was weird. I've never said that. And I couldn't understand where that had come from. Anyway, what I hadn't realised, Sam Thompson had said on Made in Chelsea, but not to me, to someone else, that I was the heiress.
Yes.
People
I
were
always thought
ringing
that
my
about you.
parents.
Yeah.
That I had emails, like literally this went on for like months. My parents had to say, but she's not the heiress. And I was like, I've never said that. So I think
Maybe, yeah,
it was
Sam, and
something.
it was assumed because
Yeah,
of your
yeah, yeah.
surname. Yeah, I always thought that about
I'd
you.
love to be the heiress to Bentley. Can you imagine? So when someone has sort of been like outed in the press, is it better say like Maura, would it be better for her to stand there and put something out saying, listen, I fucked up, I was drunk and I kissed a married man? I mean, that definitely doesn't sound great and I'd word it very differently.
Yeah.
But would you say it's better to own it like that or not say anything? Like,
Do you know what? It's really tough. It's tricky because I suppose it's so dependent on how you feel about it, and no one really knows how she feels. Like, does she feel remorseful? Does she regret
Do you think
what
she
happened?
feels remorseful?
I mean, it would be hard not to, wouldn't it?
But then I'm like, if you're remorseful, surely you say something.
Yeah, like she's probably being told by her management not to say anything, right? But if I was in her position, or if I was advising her, I think it's good to address it, because then it's the elephant in the room. It can go away. Maybe just hold your hands up and say exactly that.
Yeah, do you think if she did address it, then there wouldn't probably be this much speculation?
Yeah, because everyone's
now,
sort of like
at the edge of their seats waiting
yeah.
for something, and that's almost never ending, because that could go on forever, couldn't it?
Yeah, and also people do make mistakes, especially when they're drunk.
Oh my gosh, you're telling me.
Yeah, so yeah, she should just hold her hands up, I think.
God, it is, yeah. It's an interesting one. No, because then I read one and it was saying how she's really struggling because of the press. Like with that kind of thing, have you ever, because I know when you spoke to my producer Natalie, you said how you felt that you didn't want to like upset anyone. But are you ever conscious of that when you're writing anything?
Of course, you're so conscious of that.
Really? Okay.
And I think also I've become more conscious as I get older.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a real tricky spot, because obviously I'm a journalist, and at my core, I'm always looking for a good story, like something that's really newsworthy, and it's going to pique people's attention and interest, and for me, like get a lot of clicks on Mail Online's website.
Yeah.
But also what comes along with that, a lot of stories which are popular are negative stories, like what we've seen with Maura and Danny. I mean, it's upsetting for Danny and his wife Georgia, because they're dealing with all this behind the scenes, but then all my friends are texting me, oh my God, what's happening? When is she going to say something? Like, this is like absolute tea. So it's like, what do you do there?
And also, if you don't write it, someone else is going to, so it's kind of like, where do you...
And also for me, it's very much like my beat. Like, I love reality stars. Maura's a reality star. She was on Love Island. And so it's kind of like where I'm connected.
Who do you think is going to come off worse? Her or...
Probably her, because the woman
But
always...
why is that?
Yeah.
But he's the married one. It's so interesting,
it's
isn't it?
harder for us. And I think the McFly fan base is enormous.
Oh my God. Oh yeah, God, of
And they will
course.
just have his back. Yeah, and Maura just looks like the bunny boiler, and
it's hard, and also because she's attractive, she's single. Like,
yeah.
Can we talk about the comment section on the Daily Mail? How is that allowed?
Do you know what? It's its own life.
It's ferocious.
Yeah, it's
I have clicked on it
forum.
before, and it is shocking. I mean,
I have to go in there. I look to see, sometimes they're commenting about me as the writer.
Really?
You spelt this wrong, or this is incorrect. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Those are the worst kind of people.
Thanks, guys. But no, sometimes even stories come out of the comment section. Because people will be saying, oh, I know this person, or...
Do you ever contact, if someone then comments saying on a story saying, well, that's not true, it actually was this, would you ever then message them saying, well, what is the actual story, or do you know any more information?
No, because I think the commenters are anonymous.
Yeah. Oh, are they?
Like, I don't have access to their details, but if they're saying something about an article which seems interesting or useful, I'll probably try figure out more. Yeah.
And do you, because I noticed, how on do you get a lot of your information from social media now?
Yes, absolutely. All of it. Because actually, this is the biggest thing, because you're asking about sources, but the biggest source is me. Like, someone will be like, how do you know that? I'll be like, I just figured it out. Yes, all the time, because celebrities, they play their life out on social media.
It's the blockage. No, I'm joking.
It's so obvious when something's changed.
Yeah.
Especially with relationships. Yes. Like, most recently, at the beginning of the year, Zara McDermott and Sam Thompson split. And I just think it became obvious on social. Like, they didn't spend Christmas together, and then they didn't spend New Year's together.
See, maybe I'm just a bit thick, because I just don't think that through.
I'm just looking for those sort of signs. And so when they didn't, do you know what? Sam gave the game away, because he went out on New Year's Eve with the Made in Chelsea boys, and I was like, nah.
Something's not right.
Yeah. Like, he wouldn't spend New Year's Eve without Zara if they were in a relationship.
It's Sherlock Holmes stuff, isn't it? I find it interesting.
Yeah, I'm like sleepy.
Girls have a good thing at this anyway. Like, whenever I used to date like a new bloke, I'd message one of my mates. They would have the background check done in 5 minutes, and I'd be like, how?
That's it. All, like, a lot of the stories that I figure out, I've just seen a change on social media.
So interesting. Do you think social media is affecting like journalism? Because you know how on like TikTok, I got tagged in something on TikTok the other day that I'm firstly back on Made in Chelsea. I only went back 2 days ago. This whole thing's come out.
Oh, wow.
I know.
Exclusive over here.
Yeah.
She's back.
She's back. Again, I've become one of those cast members. I think she goes, I'll be there till I'm 50. But yeah, do you think, because TikTok now, I mean, lots of people could technically be journalists because of stuff on social
of
media.
course it makes it harder for us, especially to run something new and exclusive, which is the aim of the game, because a lot of the time, or even celebrities, we're all kind of running our own brand via Instagram, via TikTok, and so you want to get there first before
Anyone
all
else
these different
does.
ways of news coming out. But in the same breath, it's like super helpful, and actually means that we can connect like we have today.
Yeah.
And I feel that bit closer to celebrities, being able to see what they're up to and also message them.
Yeah.
Because often it's better to speak direct than it is even through the management.
Yeah. No, yeah, it is. I was going to ask a question. So how does it work when, because I was at an event once and having a conversation with someone, I had no idea she was a journalist. At the end, and luckily I didn't say anything too revealing, which is too shocking. At the end of the conversation, she said, I've recorded this and I'm a journalist.
Oh.
Is that allowed?
That isn't how I would do things. I would introduce myself at the beginning.
Yeah.
And say where I work.
Okay, good. Because that is kind of the right thing to do, because then you feel like someone's putting a fast
Yeah,
one on you.
100%. Because there are different reactions that you can get. Like some people love talking to the press.
Yeah.
And then others maybe not. And maybe even in that moment you would feel good, and another moment you don't want to chat.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's
Do you
best
find
practice to introduce yourself.
Are there sort of dodgy journalists that almost give other journalists a bad name because of the way they go about things? Yes, tell me.
No, I'm going to say no.
What? Can we get a lie detector, please?
I mean, my best friends are journalists. You know, they're people that are my peers I've worked with and like sit alongside, and like the people closest to me that work in this industry at places like The Sun are very credible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. What do you think the biggest misconception is about journalists?
Probably that we aren't trustworthy.
Yeah.
I think every time I meet someone new and, you know, they initially ask, oh, so what do you do for a living? And I say, they're like, oh, are you
panic.
recording this? That's literally what everyone says. It happened to me today, even on the
Really?
train. Yeah, I was chatting to the guy next to me and he asked what I did. And he was like, oh, you're not recording this, are you? I was like, not
No,
that you
you're
have
a random on the
anything
tube.
interesting to say, but yeah. And I know in life, trust takes time, right?
Yeah.
And especially from our standpoint, perhaps it's going to take, you know, you a while to trust me and vice versa. And I just think, that's probably the biggest one.
If you're out socially and not working, do you find it, if you suddenly say, I bumped into you in a club or something, would you, and we just got chatting, would you look at it as a social thing, or would you in your head go, I've got to remember anything she's saying?
No,
Like,
social thing.
Really? So you managed to like switch it on and off?
Because of course, I mean, I need downtime.
Yeah, I know. I was going to say, I don't think my brain could handle it. I'd also probably forget.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, if something happens at like a non-celebrity event that's like not work related, that is an incredible story, then I would just approach it with the person and say, I really want to do this as a story. Like,
Yeah.
how are we here? Because all the time people are like telling me things. I think it becomes very clear when they're telling you because they are happy with it becoming a story.
Yeah.
Or for me to investigate it, or if they're telling me as a friend.
Got you. Okay. What is the biggest scandal you've written about? Something truly scandalous.
Well, it all
Tell me it was Made in Chelsea.
No, yeah. Well, Made in Chelsea is amazing. Like I still watch every single episode. I'm not gonna lie to you. Yeah, it's super popular on the website. And so,
Wait,
yeah.
there was a guy who used to write articles, Jim Shelley.
Yes.
And they were savage, but I would find them hilarious. But they were sort of like, they'd say things like, I remember dating a guy and he said, Digby looks like the type who would bathe with his sister. And like really bizarre things, but it was funny.
Yeah, he's like a TV reviewer.
Yeah.
You've got to be punchy.
Yeah.
Like, it's got to be interesting. I'm trying to think the most scandalous. I mean, Fern McCann went through a period.
The voice note.
Yeah,
one.
that was pretty scandalous.
Yeah. Was she semi-cancelled for that, do you think? Or what was
No, Fern has 9 lives. I love Fern, by the way. She seems to bounce back
Yeah.
from things that happen in her life. The voice notes was big because that was all over social media and we weren't allowed to report on it because it was like private voice notes for a long time. And I was begging. I was so keen to report it.
So private voice notes, you can't report it, or
well,
you can't
it's
air
also
them.
like now because of AI and things like that, you just don't know really like what's real. Yeah. And so I actually went to door knock Fern, which I don't like doing. It's really, really scary because we couldn't get any, they were obviously ignoring all of our ways of getting in touch, like through management and PR. And so it wasn't until that I door knocked her that we could sort of get it over the line because we had given her a right of reply.
Yeah.
Which is always what you have to do before publishing. And so, yeah, that was obviously really big at the time because it sort of played out on social media and then played out again in the press.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I don't think she was cancelled at all.
Because we were talking about this weirdly the other day. Women don't seem to get cancelled the way men do.
That's interesting.
But they don't really, like, I was thinking the two biggest that I could think of would be Ellen DeGeneres. And then, I mean, was I have never said her surname right, J.K. Rowling. She was sort of, what other big, I mean, I'm trying, reality star-wise, female.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But whereas men seem to be cancelled all the time.
Yeah, that is true. I can't think why that is. Well, men do more wrong.
Yeah, but I think women can't be sexually inappropriate maybe the way men are. Or men behave in a way that is seen a lot more.
Yeah, or there's a lot more men in powerful positions. Yeah.
Do you think the press has control over cancellation? Like, could you say there was someone that you actually liked and didn't, I'm trying to work how to word this, but say someone like Gino, do you think if you actually said, you know what, I don't think it was wrong, it would control people's views on it, it would change anything?
That's interesting because I'm sure we have a really powerful and heavy influence on that sort of thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if we can like totally change people's minds.
Yeah.
And I really think it depends on their fan base and how much people back them. Because even still now, Philip Schofield was cancelled, right?
Yeah.
He's not on TV anymore. My mum still really likes him.
Yeah.
Like, she watched This Morning for years. And
Because of him.
yeah. And so she's like, oh, Phil, like, how's Phil doing? She'll even ask me, like, I know. Really? I'm like, Mum, I've got no idea.
Yeah, I forget, actually, you forget about the fan base side of things.
I think it depends on the fan base or, how deeply rooted the fan base is or what they did wrong as well.
Yeah.
You know, like someone like Russell Brand.
Have you ever interviewed him?
No.
Do you know anyone who has?
No, I think his era was kind of before my time. Yeah.
I'm unfazed slash biased about Meghan Markle.
Right.
And I was like, I'm going to watch her series. Like, I'm not really, I don't know.
I watched some.
She doesn't affect my life really. And like, but then I was thinking about it and my view on her was very much because of the stuff I'd read.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I think because she'd been slaved, like I wonder if I'd never read anything about her and then watched something, would I be as judgmental?
That's interesting. I think as a society, we seem to hate Meghan for so many ways. Like even when I go abroad, people are asking me, oh, Meghan, what do you think about Meghan? And I'm the same as you. I don't really have too much of an opinion.
I mean, don't
on
get me
her.
wrong. I think her show was a load of shit. If I'm totally honest. I'm just going to say it. Like,
no,
I won't be tuning in. But
yeah, I'm loving all of like the TikTok takes on it. And
oh
stuff,
no, that's my
people,
favorite.
Yeah,
I'm not new onto TikTok, Hugo. I do use it. I am not a big TikToker, but the stuff on there is remarkable. All the different things. But it's so funny. Like I saw one and it was saying how there was a clip in her series where she says to Mindy, is her name Mindy?
Yeah.
She says, oh, I find it really funny how you call me Meghan Markle. My name's Meghan Sussex. But then there's that interview with Oprah and she's having a go saying, oh, well, they're trying to take my name and it's Meghan Markle. And it's suddenly like, hang on.
That's it. People are really drawing on those things that aren't making sense.
Don't adding up.
Yeah, that aren't adding up.
I find it slightly fascinating, if I'm totally honest.
Yeah, I think she's so beautiful. Like I like looking at her.
But she's so, I'd love to know the truth behind so much stuff, to be honest.
Yeah. Like, I think it's one of those things where people have obviously badmouthed her because they think that she is responsible for Harry leaving the royal family. But I feel like he was always destined to do that.
I do kind of agree with that.
Yeah.
Also, I just don't think the royal family it's not the thing it used to be, is it?
I think that, and Harry's someone that hates the press.
Well, yeah, this is my next question. What is the relation, like, how does it work with press and the royal family? Is there some sort of like...
To be honest, I don't have much experience there because I haven't reported on the royal family, but that's quite specialist, as in we have, royal correspondents that do that and liaise with the palace. But I imagine it's quite straightforward, like a similar job that I do with the celebrities. Like there's always a go-between. I think that's why we have like management and press office and PRs to kind of liaise, and it will be a you scratch my back, I scratch your back situation in many different ways.
Because I always there's certain people who don't ever seem to do badly in the press, and I'm like, is there a thing? What's it called when people pay? Can one pay to stay out of the press?
No,
Really?
No, I don't think so.
Because they're like, I don't want to, but like the Beckhams always look amazing in the press. But is that because in real life they are just amazing? Like there's no.
I think they're amazing.
I know, I rate them.
Yeah. I mean, obviously they have a very polished brand Beckham. I think they really, have control over everything. Victoria is notoriously controlling about, social media, photographers, photos, like everything. I mean, I love Victoria Beckham so much.
I love her. I love the sunglasses.
Yes, everything. Yeah, her image. Like I loved her in the Spice Girls. I would dress up as her. I swear, even now, a little bit, I try to dress like her. I've gone to places in my career to try and meet her. Never have.
I saw something popped off my Instagram. It was, do you remember that film they did? When I remember being as a child watching it, and they had the bus that was like unbelievable.
Oh, the Spice Girls.
Us as kids thinking that bus was real. Are you joking?
No, honestly, I even years and years ago, I went to her shop opening thinking, okay, she's going to be there. I got all dressed up. Yeah. She wasn't there.
Oh, no, don't.
David was there and I was like, ugh.
Can't you get surely you can get like a press invite to something.
Well, she has a Netflix show coming out really soon. Yes.
About the family?
It's more about her. Yeah, like we're following like her as a businesswoman, as a working mother. I mean, I've seen one preview clip which they showed us at a Netflix event, and it was kind of, it was just her like walking out to her fashion show, which was set outside, and it was absolutely pouring in rain.
Oh my God.
And she didn't know what to do. Some people even criticized that, saying, oh, was that the most interesting bit, that it rained? And I'm like, guys, they're not going to give it away.
All too soon.
Yeah.
I reckon that'll do really. I love that show that they did. That clip at the end, that was a viral sensation, the dancing.
And also like her clip about being taken to school
in a Rolls Royce, that's hilarious.
I mean, the David one, I was so excited because of being a huge Beckham's fan. And then it was like more about sport and football. And I was like, no.
We know we need Victoria.
Yeah, this isn't the stuff for me.
Talk me through what you do day to day.
Okay, so no day is the same, which is why it's such an enjoyable job.
Yeah.
A lot of the time I'm attending, events, press screeners. Like, it depends on the time of year, what shows are coming out, what new series. Predominantly every single day I need to get stories.
Where would you say your biggest, like, okay, if you were desperate to go get something, where would you go? Like, would it be like...
It's not where I would be like hitting up my contacts, on a Monday morning. If I box clever now, like you learn, okay, on Thursday, I'm like, this is what I'm going to do on Monday. And this is what I'm going to do on Wednesday. And, this week, for example, I had, a Netflix clip that I was doing about, they've got a true crime series coming out, and that did really well because it's a really interesting story. So I knew I had that coming. Yeah. But then equally, you've got to be so reactive to everything.
It's like very current.
Yes.
When you say your contacts, are these like, what are they called, moles?
No, they're just people that are in the industry
and so know different things.
In lots of different ways. And it's not people selling stories. It's just we're working together. It's so collaborative as well. Like a pop star has a new album coming out, so you're doing an interview, or someone's got a fashion line coming out, so you're doing an interview, or it can be. I mean, I love Love Island because they bring out, a tan, blusher, and like you get an interview. There's two very different sides.
There's the gossipy side, and then there's like the brand stuff.
Yes.
What do you find more interesting to write about?
Ooh, I just like anything that I know is going to be
do well.
Yeah, it's going to be well read. Like it's a competitive space, right? So you're trying to beat your rivals to the best story, and you're probably also competing against your co-workers because we're all kind of doing the same thing. And so, you're working hard.
Do you all sit in an office and you look at everyone and you go, right, I've got you on this one, and then you send it through? Done?
No, I try and keep in my own lane. I don't want to know what other people are doing. Yeah.
Do you, on that, when people say sell stories, what sort of money are we talking? Like, say I took a photograph of Sam Thompson kissing someone else and sold it. What would I get for that?
I really couldn't say.
I'm just looking at a new career here. I'm thinking,
Yeah, I think that it's so dependent on what it is, the value of it at that time. Because for us, we're a website. It's so fast moving. It's really fast paced. It depends in what moment information comes to us. And so,
but is it all like a couple thousand or?
I'm not going to
you
say
can't
about
say
the
that.
money. Yeah.
Just so interesting, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, but no, it's not the same. Like someone might negotiate like a bigger amount and we might be really keen. And so, yeah, it just depends on the situation.
If with this AI stuff, technically anyone can make up anything, really.
Yeah, that is really, really tricky. And, a couple of weeks before Payne passed away, a woman got in touch with me and she said that she wanted to do a story about a particular thing. She provided messages that I thought verified what she was saying and they turned out all to be fake.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I was so relieved because,
it was dark.
I'd written the story, I was like preparing to publish it, and thankfully we didn't because we realised it wasn't credible. And then obviously a few weeks later he passed away, so I was really glad that we hadn't. Yeah.
Yeah, see that is hard. Did you, and this is more sensitive, did you ever write anything on Caroline Flack?
How do you mean?
Like anything in the lead up to everything that went down or before her suicide? Did you ever write an article?
I knew Caroline quite well because from the really early series I covered Love Island, and I still do now.
Yeah.
And each series we would go out to the villa and we would interview Caroline and we would have dinner with her, and not every host does that. Like that's how social and friendly and chatty she was with us.
Yeah.
And so, I've done interviews with her and, I wrote about her love life. But around that time, I can't recall.
Do you think anyone who like did write about her feel any sort of guilt or that they had some sort of part to play in what happened? Like, is there sort of like, does one's conscience come into any of this?
Yeah, of course. She lost her life and it was in the most tragic circumstances. And I think that there were so many factors that were feeding into that. I think that you can't blame one person or one thing that was happening. I think there was a lot. I mean, she had lost her job, which she adored. I think she was in a really toxic relationship at that time. And being accused on such a huge platform of
everything,
domestic assault, which,
yeah.
I think that everything went wrong all at once. And she was clearly like a very vulnerable lady anyhow.
Yeah.
But yeah, it honestly like makes me so sad to think of everything that she went through.
Yeah, no, it is awful. Do you think that there's ever anyone who's sort of getting slightly not nailed in the press, but do you think, do journalists ever consider that actually, this might be pushing someone a little bit too far?
100%,
now?
Especially since Caroline's passing, because I think that was so monumental that you have to learn from it and you have to think, okay, we can see the signs now, like, let's rein it in.
Do you think everyone, not everyone, but do you think a lot of people do think that way, or do you think it's very fewer people? Are there some journalists out there who are still like, I don't give a shit, I'm going to fucking write it anyway?
I honestly don't know many people like that, especially now, like, we're all hopefully now a lot more aware about mental health.
Yeah.
I think even at that time, which wasn't that long ago, that was just as we were going into the pandemic, we didn't speak about it as much. And now it's a lot more prevalent in our society and even in interviews that I do. I remember doing an interview a long time ago and I spoke to the person about mental health, and that's why I pitched. I remember my editor saying, oh, that's boring. And now it's something that we discuss so much, on podcasts and things. So I think it's become a lot more acceptable and interesting because it's relatable. We all feel it.
Because there was, it was Amy Winehouse had quite bad mental health, but she never said a word because everyone thought she's going to say she was nuts.
I think, hopefully we're all a bit more considerate, and you have to take learnings from these things.
Yeah.
In answer to your question, there are periods of time where we don't write about Katie Price just because
With welfare kind of thing.
because of her wealth there, and she has, her children to think about. And
So yeah, that's the other thing, because I've not forgets, but I suppose, like, I mean, I don't have kids, but children do, now that kids have phones and stuff, they are a lot more, things to them are a lot more available. Like, they can search. Like, I think Kim Kardashian's kids one day are probably going to watch her. I mean, you wouldn't choose to watch your mother's sex tape, but it is out there. But I suppose with press, like, people's kids can read stuff.
Yeah, of course. And like so many celebrity parents like opt to not photograph their children on social media and things like that to protect them. So you're kind of aware of those things as well. And we are always so careful about picturing kids.
Slightly more humane than I thought it was. But I mean, yeah. How does it work if, like, could you out someone's sexuality?
No.
You can't?
No. That's a big no.
Really?
Obviously.
Yeah, no, I wondered that because I never knew, like, the lines with all that, because I know, obviously, when someone's pregnant, they have to announce it, don't they?
I mean, sometimes, I worked at Hello Magazine before, and a big part of what they do is revealing celebrity pregnancies, and it's done with the celebrity, and they'll do like a lovely shoot and a big reveal that way. So yeah, sometimes it's like what people want to do, because obviously it's happy news, like it's so good. But then some people want to keep their pregnancy private, for clear reasons too. But we love a pregnancy.
I'll come to you when I am.
Please, I'll wait.
Oh, yeah. You'll be waiting a while. Another big thing that obviously has been topic of conversation for a long time, Blake Lively and Just Abadoni. In my head, and I don't know how it works, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, it was as if everyone painted this picture that they were like this amazing Hollywood couple, everyone loved them, and now suddenly it's like she's the most hated person.
I know.
Whose side are you on?
Ooh, that's hard because I'm a Gossip Girl fan.
I know, so am I. It's annoying it's changed my opinion on it.
Yeah, so it's like I'm still there, and it always feels unnatural to side with the man. I think they're probably both as bad as each other, which sounds a bit of a boring response. But it's because in the press, it's like, she said this, and then he said that, and then she fights back with this, and his team says this, and I'm like,
it's relentless. Do you think that, is it going to end?
Well, they're going to go through a case, right?
I hope they make a thing on it, like Amber Heard and Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
Like, I just want to watch it.
Yeah, I mean, no, I don't think it seems though he's done a lot wrong.
I think Ryan Reynolds got jealous.
Do you think?
And something.
I mean, have you watched the film?
Yeah.
Their chemistry was unreal.
I know. But then I'm like, you have to take that role on though. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, and have you watched the videos that Mail Online published?
Oh, the dancing ones.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just think maybe she felt slightly uncomfortable with the fact that he was the director and she had to follow his lead and do what he said, because she kept saying, I think we should do it like this. I think there was like a power play issue, but I don't think he's done anything legally wrong.
No, and also he seemed really sweet in the messages, because she was saying how she was like very self-conscious about her body, and he was like, we'll do all the right angles.
Yeah, as time goes on, I'm probably more leaning towards him. In the beginning, I was like, Team Blake.
Yeah. But then with her, all this other stuff, I find it so interesting when something happens in the press, all the other shit that suddenly resurfaces. And there's one about her giving, I think she made a bitchy comment about Leighton Meester's mum having given birth to her from prison. Oh. And Blake says a really bitchy comment. They're on the stage somewhere, and it's when I think they're promoting Gossip Girl. Yeah. And it's weird how all this stuff suddenly comes out of the woodwork, and you're like, where's this come from?
Yeah, I've seen then old interviews where she's been a bit rude to the interviewer.
Oh yeah, I've seen. That makes me really uncomfortable. And there's one poor woman, and everyone does it to her.
Yeah.
I think Anne Hathaway was horrible to this woman as well, and you're like, oh God.
Yeah, and the woman's like, oh, congratulations on your pregnancy. She's like,
congratulations on yours. Yeah, it's really awful.
Okay, yeah, it's just unnecessary. Like, yeah, she's coming across on social media as a mean girl, but it's super hard to tell because there's just so much coming from both sides, and it's like, okay, it just feels like a mess. Yeah. I just think they've both got big egos and they're trying to protect their reputations, and it's messy.
It's taken away. I wonder if the film got really good ratings though.
Yeah, because I only watched it once all of this
stuff came out.
Yeah.
The power of the press.
Yeah.
Who's the worst celebrity you've ever interviewed and you thought, my God, you're a twat?
Everyone asks me that. I don't like David Walliams.
Oh, actually, yeah, he's got quite a reputation, doesn't he? He dated a cast member from Made in Chelsea.
Oh yeah, Ashley
James, I remember that.
Yeah. He's dated a lot of women.
Someone else has said that about him.
Yeah, not keen.
Is he just rude?
Yeah, rude.
If you met a celebrity and they were rude, would you write about that?
No, I've never done that before. But to be fair, not many celebrities are being rude.
Probably because they're so fucking nervous.
Yeah.
Best behaviour.
Yeah, like I've had like good experiences overall. Like
That is good.
I love Made in Chelsea and I love Towie, but I can't say I have any close relationships with like the Geordie Shore lot. Maybe because they're not local.
Yeah.
But I was never into that show. I didn't like the boozing and like how
My parents
gross it
didn't let
got.
us watch it.
No,
for
like,
years.
they're peeing themselves and I'm like, nah, that's not for me. So yeah, if I'm asked to interview someone from Geordie Shore, I'm like,
Not today.
yeah, it's not my bag. But
Who's the most famous person you've ever interviewed?
oh, that's fun. Well, I've done a lot of red carpets, so I don't know if that quite counts.
Yeah, it
Because you
does.
get like, okay, so then there's like DiCaprio and
Unbelievable.
Will Smith.
I'm in the wrong job. Let's take this puppy on tour.
Yeah, those are amazing moments, and premieres are really fun. They're hard though because you're kind of stood in the cold for hours and
Yeah.
hours. It's not glamorous from the press pen.
Do you ever get nervous? Or like, is it you standing on the red carpet interviewing
Yes.
them? Do you?
Yes, of course.
Really?
Yeah. Especially because there's a lot of build up, hours, and you got 20 seconds.
And do you prep the same questions for each of them, or do you suddenly think of a different like?
It depends. Normally, I'm ready to go. You'd do your research beforehand.
And would you ask about the film, or would you ask about something gossipy?
If you're allowed, something gossipy.
How often do they give answers?
Often,
Really?
they're used to it. I think the bigger the celebrity,
The more open they probably are.
Yes, yeah, exactly. And they're just professional. Like, oh, I love professional people.
Really?
Simon Cowell's amazing.
Really?
I love Simon Cowell. Like, and he sees the value in the press. Like, I'll go to like a Britain's Got Talent launch. He's supposed to do like 2 minutes with us. He'll be there chatting for half an hour. I'm not over joking.
See, that's good though.
Yeah.
Do you
Old school professional people. I love Lord Sugar.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So interesting.
Yeah.
Is there anyone who you've met who's actually surprised you that you either thought was going to be a lot nicer or was a lot worse?
Well, I suppose Lord Sugar is one of those people because he's
terrifying.
That's terrifying, right? And I've interviewed him many times at the beginning of each apprentice season. I still get nervous, like to the point where I come out in a nervous rash.
Really?
Yeah, because I don't know if it's the TV show and his persona, but that's how he is. Although I'm surprised because he does have like a soft side.
So interesting.
And he'll be like having a joke with you. He's so smart. He's so switched on. It seems obvious to say, of course he is, but he's 74, I think now. And the fact that, he would have read everything, like seen every film. I was asking him about the Apprentice film in the US. He's like, yep, seen it. This is my review. He's so ready.
Amazing.
I'm a fan.
Have you ever been to a celebrity court case?
No, because I'm not sure you can in this country. You can in America.
Oh yeah, how does it work? They don't film ones here, do they?
No. And I think you have to be granted access even as a court reporter. I've never done that. And
Is it something you'd want to do?
yeah, like a celebrity court case, just to be in amongst it.
fascinating.
Yeah, it would be fascinating. I mean, a lot of work probably to like gather all the information as it was happening really quickly. But yeah, for sure.
Is there like a piece of journalism that you're desperate to do? Or like what would your dream scenario be?
I would love to work on something like hard hitting, like something investigative that took time, like maybe a year until you could reveal whatever the investigation was, like something undercover.
Is that something you could do anytime, like soon?
I'm not sure. I mean, because that's not what I've done so far.
Yeah.
But perhaps, if there was something that I came across,
That was,
that would be worthwhile in the end. But yeah, because I am that person that, good or bad, I do watch all the true crime on Netflix.
I'm obsessed. No, but I read something the other day that slightly unnerved me. It said, if you can fall asleep watching that, you're a psychopath. I fell asleep watching Jeffrey Dahmer twice.
Yeah.
But
me
I
too.
find it gripping.
No, honestly, like even the preview clip that I did this week was from a show that's coming out on Netflix called Con Mum. And it's a UK story. And up until a couple of days ago, it was not on Google. Like it's one of the first times they are telling a new story. Previously they just kind of rehash what's already been told. And it's about a chef, and he was on like Celebrity MasterChef and stuff, who was adopted when he was 2. And then in his adult life, his mum reached out to him and she ended up taking him for, 6-figure sums. And the big twist is, you know, whether or not she is his mum or is she just a con person, or is that actually his birth mother?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Did they do a DNA test or anything on that?
They do a DNA test. I don't want to reveal what
No,
happens.
don't. Oh, but that stuff like that's fascinating.
Yeah, same. Because can you believe like the heartache? Like life can be so cruel
No,
for
it's
people. Like this
awful.
man like finally meets the mum that he's always wanted to know, and then she cons him of all his life savings.
No, that's shocking. That's like that. Did you watch that awful one? It was twin brothers, and one had been in a motorbike accident. And have you seen this one? I can't remember what it's called. Anyway, he woke up with memory loss. The only person he knew was his twin.
Oh.
And the twin then, they had the most traumatic childhood, but he wanted to save him from those memories. So he told him a completely different childhood. And then eventually he told him what really happened. I mean, it was so shocking.
That's dark. I've not
should
seen that.
Watch it. It was really good, actually. I can't think what it was called. I'll find out what it was called. But it was really interesting. But I love all that. I find it fascinating.
Yeah, like even to tell someone's real life story in that sense.
Yeah.
That would be great.
The big one recently, apple cider vinegar. She's fucking mental.
Oh yeah, I watched all of that. Oh my God, can I just say that gave me sleepless nights.
No.
Like it gave me nightmares.
But
I
it's
was
like-
saying to my girlfriends, don't watch it. Like I
It's
don't like
shocking.
cancer stories. Like I think I'm just so afraid.
But I just think, how can you go along with these lies for so long?
So shocking. That's a good example of how, yeah, a journalist uncovering the truth was just like the most incredible thing for
Yeah.
everyone. Because and like he knew, and he just had to be so persistent and
doing it.
Yeah.
Do you ever clock on to sort of, not celebrities lying, but if you pick up on like a celebrity lying about something, would you quickly out them? I'm trying to think what it could be about though.
I mean, I would like to. Celebrities lie a lot.
Do they?
Of course.
But has anyone ever lied to your face and you go, well, that's not true?
Yeah, of course.
Do you call them out for it? Or do you wait and then you write about it going, they're lying?
Because you've got to keep things professional, right?
Yeah.
And so often it's kind of like, just biding your time. Everyone gets found out in the end.
I do think this. I do think the truth always comes out.
Yeah, it's true.
What would be your advice to celebrities who like, I mean, I suppose we spoke about it a bit with Maura Higgins, but like, if you fuck up, like what is your best option to do anything? Would you say talk about it on social media or like address something?
Yeah.
Or do like a piece on it, or what's...
I think, it depends on the celebrity. I mean, even if you like wrote a first person piece, that's quite a good way of explaining like where you're at. Because we only see one side, you know, there might be all these different facets in their life that have contributed to that moment. You know, Maura had just gone through a split with Pete. I don't know
were
if
they
that...
actually together? What was the deal with all that? Were they?
I think so.
And because I always
It's like, what's together now anyway?
yeah,
like,
well, this is the thing. It's probably liking a photo on Instagram.
yeah.
Like, no one knows.
No, I definitely think that they were very close.
Yeah. 'Cause
And
that's the other thing as well we were talking about this, like with cheating, when you hear about celebs cheating, do you often get people sending, you know, DMs, like screenshots of DMs from celebrities DMing like
I used to,
random birds?
not so much now. Like,
God, everyone's a lot more loyal than I thought they were.
Yeah,
I had this vision of people literally really going for it, just selling something all the time.
no, I mean, if anyone is listening and wants to sell a story, like,
Send it into private parts. Don't.
no, I think it requires a lot more hard work on our side. Yeah,
It is-
definitely
yeah.
to get the stories, because often people don't even know what a good story is.
What consists of a very good story for you? Like,
Okay, that's easy. I like one fact, like top line.
Yeah.
So such and such a split, such and such are in a new romance.
And when you say people have split, how is it? Because how do you know that quickly? Because of a source, or because they've posted on Instagram, or what's the like?
Yeah, different ways. Like I say, sussing it out from social media, because Sam and Zara is a good example, and
yeah,
I
of course.
love them both as individuals and as a couple.
Yeah.
But I think that they played out their relationship a lot on social media, and so the minute that stopped, it was kind of an indicator that something wasn't wrong.
Yeah.
Also, bless them, they were papped a few times, rowing.
I know, but I see. This is the other thing, because pap shots. Paps are also ruthless. They'll be next. Because I always see them. It's like because you could look like you're having an animated conversation, or you could look like you're fighting. Like what if?
Do you think?
Yeah, I do think. I mean,
yeah.
I'm pre-Botox. My face moved a lot, so I could look like I'm shouting at a lot of people, but actually I'm probably just saying something stupid.
I think you could probably tell if something's amicable or not,
Yeah.
or if it looks like heated and
Because now I love on the Daily Mail where it's a lip reader has repeated
Oh
the conversation.
yeah, we're doing loads of that.
And there was one recently with Emma Stone.
Yeah.
But I watched it and I thought, oh, she's an actress, she's being theatrical.
Yeah,
but
that's true. I guess sometimes you don't know, do you? It's kind of what's gone on between the two people.
yeah.
And there could be different interpretations. Like there was a video of Kate Moss going around.
Yeah, saying that she's back on drugs.
Yeah. Well, that's what people were saying in the comments, weren't they?
Yeah. But is she frantic as a person? No, she's quite composed, isn't she?
Yeah, I don't really know. Or was she just like moving around to like get the best shot?
But then also, you never know if someone on social media could have sped that video up and she could, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think people were speeding it up.
But then that's so savage because it's like
Someone
who
even
obvious-
like fashion magazines were doing that. Because like Elle did it.
Really?
Yeah, and so people were in the comments like, why is Elle magazine doing this? Why are they?
That's so interesting because that slightly lowers their tone a bit, doesn't it?
Yeah, 100. Especially for Kate, who is like a fashion icon. It's like
one person who no one can seem to stop talking about, and actually I don't want to talk about, but I'd like to know your opinion. Bonnie Blue.
yeah, don't like that.
What honest opinion?
Yeah.
Do you think she's a fucking disgrace?
I do, but I also don't believe it. I don't believe any of it.
I'm waiting for April 1st that it's a prank. That it's some big PR
No, I don't
stunt.
believe she's. Yeah, that's what I believe. I think it's all being manufactured so she can get as many likes, hits, views, followers as
At
possible.
what cost? Like, it's so... It actually... that shocked... Nothing really shocked me. It does shock me, but that shocks me.
Yeah, same. Like she's trying to break. Well, she did break the world record for the most people slept within a day, right? In 24 hours.
No, it actually makes me feel really uneasy. But my worry with stuff like that is the damage it will do to younger people.
Yeah, 100%. No, it's awful. It's awful from every angle you look at it.
She looks awful from every angle.
Actually, I really respect Ashley James because they did a segment on This Morning where they had Bonnie in the studio and Ashley went against her and she spoke so eloquently, about everything. She was like, I'm a mother and this is how it makes me feel.
Yeah.
Because, you've got to think about really young girls.
Young girls, but also, like, it just doesn't give women a good name.
No,
It
not
doesn't
at
in the
all,
slightest.
yeah.
And I saw something, and actually this is where I thought she's really sick in the head. She said she gets a thrill when she reaches the left hand of the man and feels a wedding ring.
Oh, yeah, I read that. And the fact that is she making so much money? Like, I just don't know what to believe from her whole story.
Can we cancel her?
I mean, no one's a fan, are they? Like, no one's
but
like...
she should borderline be arrested.
Yeah, I know. This is what I say. I'm like, how is any of this legal? Isn't it prostitution?
It's, also shocking. Imagine it was a bloke. The uproar.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if she was a man going around to universities?
Yeah, no, it's really disgusting. Yeah, I don't like it.
Okay. I just had to mention it.
Yeah, normally I'm on board for something, even if I don't agree with it, because it's a good story.
Yeah.
But I'm not on board with this.
Have you ever written about her?
I've only written about her in the sense where I've asked a celebrity their opinion.
On her?
Yeah.
Do you actually do that? Do you sometimes there's an option to write about something and you just think, no, I'm not going to write that?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
What sort of thing are you like, it's not for me?
Oh, if it's like really grotty.
Really? What do you class as really grotty? Bonnie Blue.
If it's like about someone's divorce.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, if it's a real back and forth, like he said, she said. Or,
Complicated.
Yeah, and often I've written about Katie Price loads, obviously, throughout my whole career. Will never stop. She's like the
Daily
queen.
Mail queen.
Yes, but sometimes I'm like, oh my God, because if it's about her romantic life, it's like, where do you start with that? Because
Same with her facelift.
Yes, that's it. Everything's got like 10 chapters to it. So it's hard to get. Yeah, sometimes I'm like, oh God. There's similar people like that, like Kerry Katona.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's the same stuff. Have you ever written something and it just done really badly and you thought, I can get that down now?
What you mean, like it hasn't?
Like just an article that just didn't like do well, or it was something that people
Oh,
were
I
like,
mean, of course. I'm trying to think.
But how does it work? Can you post something and then you take it down again? Like how can...
You can. It's quite hard to do, actually.
Really?
Because of Google and like, Apple, everything. As soon as you publish a story, it's out there in the Arifa, social, like could be getting picked up by anyone, anywhere on the internet.
Could you, I'm just thinking for the future. No, I'm joking. Could anyone, say you wrote an article on someone and then say their agent messaged you saying, listen, they're actually in a really bad place right now and this could be incredibly damaging. Could you retract it? Even though I know it's already out there, but could you Be like, actually, you know what?
do all of that before.
Before.
Yeah, because you don't want to be in a position where you're putting it back, really.
Yeah.
Like, before you publish any story, you have to go to all the subjects for their right of response. Yeah. That's...
Oh, really? And then, but, oh yeah, I suppose they're right. How, do people often give their, like, side on it, or they tend to leave it?
No, I would say most people give their side. Yeah, even... I was so shocked this week because one story that was doing an enormous amount on our website was Kat Deely. Her husband Patrick lost his mother last week.
Oh, and she wasn't at the funeral.
Yeah, she wasn't at the funeral. So then everyone was speculating whether or not Kat and Patrick have split up.
Had they?
No.
Oh.
This was what surprised me. So I've never spoken to Kat Deely's management before, ever.
Yeah.
But I just wrote to them and asked, why was she not at the funeral? Yeah. Thinking there's no way they're ever going to reply. But they wrote me back and they gave me a statement. And then I got to do a story and it did really well. And they were happy because it kind of, put that to bed. No, I believe they're still together. And they said that, you know, she didn't go to the funeral because she needed to be in London for her children. Like, she's got two young kids.
Completely fair enough.
Yeah. But
it's interesting, isn't it, how so quickly you could think one thing straight away just from one article?
Yeah. I mean, in what world are you not attending your mother-in-law's funeral?
Yeah.
It's still a talking point, I would say, especially because Patrick's Irish and there are a few Irish women in our office that were like, this is huge. Like, in Irish culture or in their society, this is not the done thing.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Have you ever got like super excited about something that could be amazing and then it's just turned out to be flop?
All the time.
I'd be livid.
Yeah. I mean, no, if I hear something really good, I go balls deep. I'm like, even if it's like 10 p.m. at night and I hear something, I'll log on.
Really?
Yeah.
God, it is a full job, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh my God. I've set stories live on like airport floors, like, wherever you are, you're getting on it.
But you obviously enjoy it.
Yeah, like, you definitely like the thrill and the buzz of like breaking a good story.
Yeah.
And if something happens, then reacting to it, like, these are the good moments. I mean, when Molly and Tommy split.
Oh my God. It was like the world had ended.
So, honestly. And I was like, wow, like, okay. And it was the wording of her statement that made it particularly interesting.
And quickly, did he cheat or did he not? What was the actual...
Well, he always stands by he's never cheated.
But there's photo evidence, isn't there?
No, well, those photos were like so weird and so fake.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like a girl coming out saying she did this and that.
Oh, and there wasn't someone pregnant as well?
Yeah, not true. There was just, that's a good example of how the internet just went crazy.
But it's mad because TikTok spreads things like wildfire.
Yeah, and then I'm like, okay, this is happening. It's like, no, it's not happening.
Because I saw one the other day that was really odd, and it was someone had claimed they'd taken a photograph recently of Liam Payne on an aeroplane. And I mean,
that's insane.
It was really dark. And I suddenly was like, firstly, how is that even been, like, it just is a weird thing to do. But it was crazy, like, this massive conspiracy theories that he was still alive.
Oh, God.
It was really weird.
Yeah, conspiracy theories. I mean, anything Molly does, like, she could sneeze and it would be top of our website.
I really rate her. And actually, I really enjoyed her show.
Same.
She just seems so real.
Yeah, she is.
And I love that she ate McDonald's. Yeah. She doesn't give a shit.
I obviously love her. Team Molly.
Yeah, all the way.
Yeah.
What do you think the sort of downsides of being a journalist are?
It is difficult to switch off. It's difficult to switch off from the news. And yeah, sometimes it can be not for me because I'm a celebrity journalist.
Yeah.
But things can still get dark, you know, the things that we've spoken about. And yeah, for the first time ever, seeing like suicides connected with a show like Love Island was just, you know, a really hard period and thing to write about. Yeah, having people make judgments about you, you know, even on dates when I would tell people what I did for a living.
Really?
I mean, I walked out on a date once because I told him and he was like, oh, that's not a career.
That's fucking rude.
Yeah, so I was like,
my mate said that to me about Made in Chelsea. I thought, fuck off.
No, that's rude as well. Because
it was really rude, actually.
Yeah, because it's amazing. And like, look at all the things that you can do from being on a show like that.
Yeah.
Plus, who really says no when someone says, right, we're making this series, you can be on it, you can travel, you can be on it with your mates, have fun. Yeah. Who says no?
Have you are you with someone now?
Yeah.
Did you find it hard dating? Like, did it affect?
Probably, yes. And I met my partner because he was on a reality show.
Really?
Yeah, he was on The Apprentice. So he's very much on board with like...
Oh my God, that's so interesting. Were
Yeah.
you interviewing him when you met him?
Yes.
Oh my God, stop.
Yeah, that's fun.
That's really sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was about to say, if you actually, well, I suppose he probably is a celeb then.
No.
No, minor.
No, as if...
Because I'm trying to work out as if that would be fucking hard if it's a celeb dating a journalist where they draw the line. Because
Yes.
I have to go home and tell my boyfriend everything.
Yes.
He doesn't give a shit and he couldn't care less, but
Yeah,
I just have to
yeah,
tell him
yeah.
anyway.
No, I mean, it happens, right? Like,
Yeah.
that's happened. I think, yeah, you just need to get to a place where you trust each other.
Yeah, you're totally
Obviously,
right. Do you
yeah.
think sometimes, do you find it slightly, like I'm one of those people that if I'm around like negative people, I find it quite consuming. Do you ever, because most stuff written isn't always, majority is probably more negative than positive,
Yeah,
really.
no, that's
Do you find it
true.
quite over, like, does it affect you mentally sometimes that it's just constant, slightly darker stuff?
Yeah, definitely. Especially cheating, actually, because I've written a lot of cheating stories and seen things. And I think it's probably heightened in our industry, like in show business. And, you know, there's a lot of opportunities to have drinks at free bars and parties and events. And I wonder, is this the same for like the doctors and nurses? Like, are they all like
They're getting pissed at
having
raffles.
affairs? Yeah. But yeah, so I think, yeah, I can bring that into my own relationship when it shouldn't be there. But I've like, imagine you've just spent the day reporting on like a breakup because someone cheated. You go home and look at your own partner like,
Where were you today, my friend?
yeah.
Do you think cheating over the years got worse?
Oh yeah, because there are so many different ways to cheat, aren't there?
Because I think it's because of social media.
Yeah, because of social media and even like sliding into someone's DMs. That's
It's just
disrespectful.
so available. And I mean, anyone
Yeah.
now can speak to anyone.
Yeah, and there are TV shows like Temptation Island is wild.
Wait, yeah, I've heard about this. What, you go in there in a relationship, but you then live with someone else or something?
Yeah, and then like see if you're gonna have sex.
It's niche.
And obviously they do, and it's horrible. Yeah, like you must have seen the viral clip with the Spanish one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would I go there with my boyfriend? Are you joking? I am fortunate enough that my boyfriend doesn't have Instagram,
But
which is
great.
a rarity.
Yeah. No, yeah. The fact that there are shows, even shows like Married at First Sight, even I guess Made in Chelsea, like you're put in situations where,
Oh, when you bump into your ex and then your girlfriend.
yeah.
Yeah, it's not ideal.
Yeah. I mean, because it's drama.
Yeah.
And, you know, Love Island's one of them where do we want to see the couples in love or do we want to see them?
We don't. We want to see the savage stuff.
Yeah. I probably want to see one of them in love.
Yeah.
Just
But are we all a bit sick? Is that the problem? Like,
yeah,
people just
that's
want the
problem.
drama.
Yeah, because obviously working at particular news institutions, like they may have a bad rap.
Yeah.
But what we do is like feed a culture that exists. We are looking at analytics, seeing what is most read and looking at, you know, what people want to read about.
Yeah. And it's always scandal.
It's scandal.
But it's gossip, isn't it? Everyone loves it. Like
Yeah.
whenever I meet with like my mates and they go, "You're not going to believe this. They're getting divorced." And I go, "What?" Like, and then we
Yeah.
sit and just bitch for hours.
Exactly that. And I think, yeah, it's all kind of within us. I mean, I must get this from my mum because I've got memories of like being in supermarkets and she'll be talking to everyone. I'll be like, do you even know that person? Just be talking to the cashier, you know, the neighbor,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
gossiping
yeah.
all the time. And yeah, I would be that person in school that would hear something. I would have texted someone before the person's even said, oh, don't tell anyone.
Oh, yeah, no, I know. I have done that before.
Yeah.
Straight away telling everyone.
Yeah.
Or you can, you know.
I just like to talk. That's the best part about the job. I
So
love
you just
talking.
talk?
Yeah. I love writing, obviously.
Do you?
Yeah.
What did you go to university?
Yeah. Study English.
Really?
Yeah, and then I did an NCTJ, which is like a qualification in newspaper journalism.
And then you went straight to the Sun?
My first job was actually at the Mail on Sunday.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but then straight into nationals, which is probably quite rare. Like usually the pathway would be like working at a local newspaper, something like that.
Yeah.
But I was so hungry.
Yeah, because you're like really high up.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, you are.
I think that, you know, it's been a while now. So I'm 34 and I started as soon as I left uni. But I interned for free for like a year and a half.
Really?
Yeah. I used to.
See, I don't think people, you can't intern anymore, can you?
Yeah,
they don't
not
like
for
all that.
free. I mean, I would
Cheeky
be getting
fuckers.
I would be getting pages in the paper with my byline, and I'd be thinking, why aren't I getting paid for
Yeah,
this now?
no, I was like a side person for a photographer for like London Fashion Week, running around doing everything for free.
yeah, that's wrong. Because I think, I used to really upset me in the end. I'd be like, okay,
I've done bitch work all day.
Yes.
So the
I'd have
worst.
commuted. I'm from Milton Keynes, so I'd commute from Milton
Oh my
Keynes to
God.
Canary Wharf. I would work at New Look on the weekends just to pay for my commute.
Oh my, but that's dedicated. But look at where you are now. Dedication.
Dedication, commitment.
It is. What have you got coming up?
I'm really looking forward to the TV BAFTAs
Oh yeah.
because after Maura and Danny, I'm excited
Oh, yeah,
to see
golden.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what's going to happen at the after parties. Like maybe it's going to spark like a new era of people actually having fun and getting drunk, not kissing married men.
Do you have like a list in your head of people who have the potential to fuck up that you could keep an eye on?
Oh no, because you can just never.
Really?
How would you know? Because actually,
you know the ones, I think.
the Brits has become so tame over the years. Like,
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. Can you imagine back in the day with
but it's social media. I think everyone
Yeah.
does get everyone is so nervous now getting caught or messing up. Like it is. I think it's quite sad because I worry. I don't know. It would be hard to sort of feel like you have to constantly watch yourself and edit yourself when you just want to have a good time.
Yeah, of course. And so, yeah, I think it takes a lot for someone to, let loose or let go. And also, there's so many private places now. Like, I don't know if people just go off to Soho House and just keep themselves there or whatever. They don't actually attend the official after party anymore. Like Charlie XCX, like it was her big night at the Brits. Like, what did she do afterwards? I don't know. But yeah, and she's a party girl. I don't know.
It's when they get papped at 6 a.m.
Yeah, and you're like, you were somewhere. TV BAFTAs, I'm excited. And then we kind of roll out with the usual. Like, I'm already thinking about Love Island.
Oh my God, I feel like that does start again soon, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, we do the press in May, so it starts
Oh
soon.
my God.
Yeah.
Well, this has been amazing and very interesting, and I'm going to unblock you.
Oh, please. Yeah.
This has been amazing. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah Packer.
Hey.